Hi, kindergarten friends. I have a book that I know that you love and you probably already heard before, but I want to read it to you again because I know it's one of your favorites. Look at the cover of my book. Who is my main character? Do you remember? If you said Pete the cat, you are right. This book title is Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. By the end of my story, I want you to think, what kind of book is this? What are they trying to teach you in this book? I bet you all know. Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. There's that page that I like. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much that he sang this song. Look at this. What is that? Do you know what that is? You're right, it's not a speech bubble. He's not talking. So what kind of bubble is it? If you said a thinking bubble, you're correct. He's thinking this. He's thinking that number 4. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. One of the buttons just popped off and it rolled away. How many buttons are left? 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. And he kept singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? If you said 2, you're correct. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Oh, but did Pete cry? Goodness no. See buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? If you said 1, you're correct. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. And he kept singing his song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many are left? If you said 0, you're correct. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Well, goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete, he looked down at his buttonless shirt. What do you think he saw? So when he looked down and there was no buttons on his shirt, what do you think Pete saw? Let's see if you're right. Oh, his belly button. And he kept singing his song. My button, I still had my belly button. My button, I still had my belly button. It's all groovy. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Oh goodness no. We'll just keep singing. Buttons come and buttons go. So my friends, what was this book doing? If you said that it was subtracting and taking away buttons, you're right. Every time that a button popped off of Pete the Cat's shirt, we had to take one away. Thank you for joining me with my book today. I'll see you later. Bye.